Hello, my name is Brant Hunt. My channel is Discerning What is True. Today is the 16th day of September 2023. This is going to be a short, concise video. I'm going to talk about the criticism of those who not only follow Patrick Devine, others that have tried to basically, how would I say it, get out of the system and become somewhat sovereign. Part of this started way back last year, back in, I think it was February or January of last year, 2022. And I worked with a particular group guy named Chris Hauser. Now, I didn't get any personal, that is, work from him. I followed his channel at that time. And I did what he stated to do. And that was to do with what we call, sending in what we call your bills to people who are what I call the power companies, the electric companies, the other companies, what you owe debts to, in order to alleviate that debt, which you are the credit of this country. You have always been that credit since the start of the end of the era when Franklin Roosevelt allowed that to happen. And we became the collateral because there was no other collateral left in this country. Okay, there was no other collateral. And so my criticism is this of the group. I'm not personally against this group in any way. They try to do what they normally would try to do and get themselves free. And some have set themselves free, or have they? I don't think so. What's happened is simply those that have done this have gotten out of the system. I know of two female have done this already, and I know of someone else, a particular person that is a man that's also left this group, such and such, was a part of this, and did his own videos and that type of thing. The problem is simply this. Yes, it has worked out for a few, okay? And you do supposedly have money in your in your Social Security account, such and such, that they are using against you. This is how bad it is out there, because simply is the banks are bankrupt. They need you as customers to be in business, you see, and you use credit cards, you see. But the key is, those who have gotten out of the system are not able to share their information to others. So there's the fallacy. And again, this is a huge fallacy, because you're not free if you cannot speak out and share your truth. That is the truth that what you've done, that has come out of the system and is sovereign, you see. And a lot of this has happened to us by little, either with the all caps letters. All that simply is that you have to pay property tax, which is in all cap letters. All these things, I'm not saying they're not true. I'm not saying they're not true. I'm saying it simply is that that's what they're doing to us. That's what they've been doing to us for nearly 100 years. We no longer can actually own our property as we did at one time, what we call a lodo title. All these things that I've worked on, spent time, bought books, spent money, downloads, whatever you want to call it. And I come to the fallacy probably about 3 or 4 months ago and realized the fallacy is even if you get out of the system and you think you're free, you're not free. You're not. You cannot share this information to others. You can get in trouble with the government. They don't want you to do this. They don't want you to spread this. And so when those that have come out of the system, and this is their fallacy, they don't even understand what they've done. Meaning simply is they've gotten out of the system, but they're not allowed to speak about what they've done. So you're not truly free, are you? Really? No, you're not. So it means that simply they've been threatened by agencies, by other government agencies, so to speak, that will keep them from sharing what's out there, what is true. We all could be free in some ways of this, but it's not, because we have human beings who do damage to other human beings. We have people who work for paychecks to actually, for government agencies that cause harm to all people, all of them, because people don't know what's going on. And the sad part simply is those who have gotten out of the system are not able to share that information. Okay? And this is a very short and sweet type of video. And reality simply is, let's just get to the other point where I've been actually doing many of my videos here the last month. You're still not out of the system in some ways, because you really are still a slave in all kinds of regards, even spiritually. And you are a spiritual being. Okay? You're far more a spiritual being. Only reason why you're here with a body is for you to, quote unquote, to learn and go through what I call the tribulations of what this world is all about, to set yourself free, you see. And the Bible does speak of these things, but most of us are not. We've been so programmed to the point simply is that we have been blinded by religion. Religion is not truth, folks. It never has been. It's been overtaken. And at one time, mystery schools used to offer this truth also. But those mystery schools have been taken over also by people simply as they're willing to take the money in order not to share the truth, or they never had the truth in the first place. So I'm just putting this out again for those who may be interested in this, may not, who knows, but you are wasting your time. You are. And we only live here for a certain amount of time per se. You see, guys, we all reincarnate in here. So if you get out of the system here, repeat, if it's the second fallacy, if you get out of this system, you come right back in here and you have to do it all over again. So what have you learned? What have you learned? Have you learned the fallacy? Have you understood this, what this place is? There is no hell when you die. The hell is actually in some ways here because of all the tribulations you have to go through, the traumas, the whole, what I would call disengagement, your personality struggles, your psychological issues that take place, your parents who never loved you or they never shared anything to you and you obeyed them thinking that they, would truly love you, until you wake up and realize, well, they really didn't love me after all, did they? And this whole system. This is a world, in a way that when you're a kid, you thought everything was a level playing field, so to speak, but it's not. It's not. And those who still think it is, you're living in a pipe dream. You really are. And that's your choice. You see, you have that freedom. You have you have free will. You have free will, to quote unquote, to look into these things, to make mistakes, whatever you want to call it. And that's why you reincarnate over and over again until you actually learn a lot of these things, and then you ascend eventually. And God is more than patient with people by far, and loving, that most of us don't understand. And so again, this is just my criticism of those. If those who want to continue to follow this group, that's fine. That's their business. If they want to follow Patrick Devine and what he is, such and such, or other groups, such and such. But the point simply is, what purpose is it? I know this simply is that there are people who follow. I've heard from others who followed Patrick Devine early on, back in the 2005 or so, before he passed. Maybe later than that. And what happened simply is they never shared it with other people. He gave that to them as a gift in some ways, trying to get people, because he discovered these things, but he wanted to help others. And the sad part is simply the fallacy of that also is simply as people, they get in this, then they become what I call, they get all this money and all this stuff. And are they willing to help others? No, they're not. Very few are. They go right, they do what they want to do. They don't see that they've been given a lot in some ways about this. So they never offer and help others. I don't see it from them. I don't. And that's their choice. But again, they'll reincarnate again and again. And so they have not, it's quote unquote, what I would call, they think they're escaping this whole situation, but they're not. They're not. So I just wanted to share that with you because I spent quite a bit of time and money exploring this issue and taking chances to pursue all this in my life last year and to early this year until I came to the point simply is the fallacy was simply is you're not free. You're not. You may have money and all this stuff, such and such, and you may live the way you want to live, but you're not free because you cannot share it with other people, or you choose not to serve to share it with other people. And in reality, that's not really saving your soul, is it? It's not, is it? It's just another fallacy. So, again, thank you for being here. And those who are involved in these groups, I have no animosity towards anybody in this group. I have no way. There's no hard-heartedness toward these people. But I want to show the real error in that simply is that when you do this, you're not able to really share it with other people when you get out. And the problem simply is you're not free. You're not. You just think you are. Okay. Have a good day. And thank you. And we'll talk to you later.